Namaskar, good evening. Today it's a change of guard. I'm Dr. Swapana. Uh, our regular participants, they must be expecting Ashutosh, but since he's traveling, I'm today managing this chair. And I welcome our today's speaker, Sindhuja Nagendran, for our regular session of uh, this Friday evening session, right? So I welcome you all for today's happy hours of coaching. And Sindhuja Nagendran is an agile coach, and she currently works in Middle East. And I would say, Sindhuja, you can start with your own introduction to elaborate it more, and I will hand over the guard to you. And today's topic is metrics that matters, and we all look forward to hear from you. And I I look forward for other participants to actually uh, even share their views after in Q&A session with you. So I'm looking forward to a wonderful conversation, and let's enjoy and let's have this learning together. So over to you, Sindhuja, and yes, thanks.
Thank you, Swapna. Thank you so much for handing over the session to me. I would like to see the participants. Guys, would you like to turn on your camera? That's okay, totally. Even though if you're in your night dress, I know Friday evening, 8 o'clock, but that should be fine totally. If you can turn on your camera, it would be really appreciable. No one except me and Swapna.
So they will join for sure. We can start because many a times if what
Thank you,
happens, Sindhu, yeah, okay, many a times they are even like right now Ashutosh is traveling, so they are in the different kind of travel
Understood.
zone kind of. So it might happen. So we can start, and they will
Yeah,
certainly for Q&A they will certainly put up their cameras. I'm sure. Yeah,
no problem. I understood,
Ajit is
Swapna.
there. I can see Ajit, right? Yeah.
Yes. Finally, Ajit. Ajit, you look so handsome since you turned on your camera.
No, I just came from my office, so I just joined to
That's why
just
you're
join with
handsome.
them.
Good. Okay, so thank you. Good. I think
एक
wanted
second,
to,
एक second. Yeah. So.
yeah, you guys unmute up. So first of all, thank you so much, Swapna, for hosting the session, and thank you, Ashutosh, for inviting me for this happy hour and giving me the opportunity to work and collaborate with like-minded people. And as Swapna introduced, this is Sindhuja Nagendran. I'm an agile coach working in the UAE for one of the product-based company. So yeah, I'm into this industry for the last 14 years. Apart from Agile and Scrum, I'm a public speaker. I do attend these kind of sessions and events, and I do organize a few other workshops on the personal development activities. That's all my niche, around 150 career transformation and personal transformation I have done. A great book lover, inspiring speaker, and a fitness geek as well. So with that, I would like to start the session. Metrics that matters. When you hear this term, what do you guys think? What is something coming on your mind? I would like to have this session very conversational, as the name is Happy Hour. Let's have it very funfully. What do you think? What does it mean? What is something coming on your mind? Metrics that matters. Leave the agile, leave the scrum, leave other things, every other thing. As a layman, as a regular person, what do you think in our day-to-day life on other stuff?
Data.
Uh-huh. Okay. What else?
To measure something we want to measure.
Something we wanted to measure. Okay. Interesting. Anything else?
I would say something we have defined some parameters, and on that we measure that on those parameters.
I think matrix, something comes to mind as mapping or graphs, something like that.
Mapping or graphs. Okay. Thank you to share like status, monitoring, progress, many things. Okay, let me put it in a layman term, or let me put it. Yeah, thank you so much. The answers almost you guys covered the session itself. What do you mean by success? Leave the agile, scrum, organization, IT, corporate, every other factors. Just talk in a layman term. What do you mean by success, or what is your success? What do you think this is something success for me?
So
When
when you complete a task, whatever you decide, then
achieve
you feel like okay, that's a successful task. kind of whatever is the basic thing I would say. Yeah, somebody is going on. Yeah,
Yeah, when a milestone is achieved. Or
yeah.
Okay. So is that your milestone is going to be the same milestone for Swapna and your success is going to be the same success for her? How it is?
it could
Yeah,
be
it will be
individual.
different.
It will be
Yeah,
different. Yeah.
So different in different perception,
but
different measures, different view. Is it?
yeah, but
Is it
if I'm a team member, means if Ajit is my team co, I would say colleague or team member, then yeah, our success will be similar. If we are
Yeah.
in different team,
Yes,
then might
as an
be
organization perspective, your success
yeah,
may be different. But again, in the
yeah,
team perspective, when you comes, your measures, your thing will be like different. Ajit's might be different.
yeah,
Even though if
yeah,
it is the same team, his success is
yeah.
something like he wanted to automate something. Your success maybe you want to scale up the business, something like that. Correct in that perception. So thank you so much for the wonderful answers. So let me start. Let me share my screen. I hope you all can see my screen. Correct.
Yes.
Yes, it's visible. Yeah.
Thank you. Metrics that matter. Measuring the real impact of agile beyond velocity. Okay, so in this session, completely, I request you guys to refrain all the preconceived thoughts, not only in Agile or Scrum. Let's take this as very practical in our life, day to day things, what is going to be a matter for us. Okay, so this is some agenda, but I'm taking to the next one. The strategic imperative of metrics in Agile or in our life. In an era of digital transformation, we are all in Web 2, Web 3, Web 4, we are moving to Web 3 nowadays, right? From Web 2, the technology and other stuff. So every organization are focusing on IT transformation or digital transformation or IT modernization, correct? So in that perception, metrics are not just mere numbers. Data is overwhelming. You can get a number of hell lot of data from some reports or something else. But what matters is all the data matters. That matters a lot. That is a perception what we all wanted to think of. So in a layman term, if I wanted to say, we are consuming many foods in a different forms, many other different varieties. But are all the foods really adding our goal of reducing weight or gaining the fiber content? That matters a lot, correct? So similar way in the era of digital transformation, if you are overwhelming with too many metrics, it's going to be just a dump or trash. So metrics are not mere numbers. It will help us to make the right decision at right point of time. Okay. So they form the backbone of evidence-based decision making. So it really matters which metrics you guys are measuring, which food you wanted to consume, to improvise yourself, to optimize yourself, to tune yourself. That comes as a backbone of evidence based decision making. So you will have the strong hold and evidence to make your decision. Okay. So this is not just numbers, it's more than that. That's what I'm trying to achieve here. So agile metrics should let us to take the continuous improvement. It's not something I'm doing, my team is doing this one or my organization is doing this one. No, that's not the case. Everywhere there is, at least I believe there is no such a term called perfect. This is my perception. Opinion differs again. The moment when I say something is perfect, it's already died. Always we have some room and space for continuous and the constant improvement or innovations or ideation. Correct? So agile metrics should let us to guide us to continuously improve in each and every step of our life. So how are we doing it? Iteration by iteration. Ensure that every iteration delivers not just more features, but measurable business value. It doesn't mean that how many features we are delivering, how many times we are deploying per day, how many products we are launching to the market. Is all the products are successful? Is all the features are successful? How many of you in this session have think through in our banking app or any other app? Do you guys really using all the features which is in the banking app or which is in that app, even though if it is some gaming app? If you dig deep, if you sit and think for some time, only some 4 to 5 features only you will be engaging actively 80%. Leave the games and other stuffs. We are all Scrum Masters or Agile coaches or project managers, something XYZ, correct? In the PowerPoint presentation or in the Excel sheet, there are hell lot of features out there. Hell lot of things out there. Amazingly, Excel itself will work if you are implementing macros and other stuffs and all, correct? But how many features we are using in our day-to-day life actively, predominantly? So that's how we need to measure what is customer looking forward for it. Which is the feature we really wanted to focus? Which is a feature we really wanted to improve continuously? Okay. So what gets measured gets managed. Have you ever heard about the story Why Can't Elephant Dance? It's not a story. Again, it's a book. It's a practical implementation by IBM. So anyone heard about this one? No? Yes? I'm
No,
looking for some
no.
answers. No, no. Okay, so that's an interesting, amazing case study where everyone wanted to listen at least one time in our life, I believe. Why can't elephant dance? That is, there was a downtime for IBM where the Oreo company, I think, biscuit company CEO has taken the control of this thing, control of complete software industry. So everyone was thinking or criticizing. It's not again criticizing, thinking that how come the biscuit company CEO or this kind of cookie company CEO can make the difference, can make the changes. Okay, he did something, but at the end, ultimately, the one point what I wanted to share, there are a hell lot of learnings over there, but the one point what I wanted to share from this complete case study of IBM, employees will do what you are measuring. Okay, you have many expectations towards your employee, but they do only what you really measure. So the measurement matters a lot. That's what ultimately the point in that book. It's one of the points. It's not the complete point. So what you are measuring, there you will be progressing. That's where your success. That's where your lead indicators. Okay. So that's the point in that book specifically they mentioned. Let me go back here. So what gets measured gets managed. In different terms, they will explain in that book. So employees will focus and work on what is really being measured. Ultimately, what you are managing, what you are measuring, progression you can see on it. Okay. So if you track something, you're more likely to improve it. It can be your finance. If you keep on looking at your financial expenses tracking, definitely down the line in 6 months or 3 months or 2 months, you can see the progression of your savings. However, the key is measuring what truly matters. Finance, I mean, generally, correct? You may have some 10 to 15 credit cards, 10 to 10 other debts. So what you are really looking forward? Are you looking for passive income? Or are you looking for to clear the debts? Or are you looking for to reduce your expenses? That matters a lot. So focusing on the wrong metrics instead of focusing on specific thing, if you guys focusing on I'm managing finance, just taking the bank statement out and then looking the bank statements and okay, so this is where it is going on and not taking any specific actions or specific measures, nowhere we are landing at the end. So focusing on the wrong metrics can lead to misleading success or unintended consequences. So transition from short-term outputs to long-term strategic outcomes is going to measure. Someone messaged in that group saying that long-term outcomes, correct? Similarly, organization and everyone's business, if you're doing some business, focus on long-term outcomes instead of short-term outputs, which is not measuring what we wanted to have, what we wanted to achieve. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. What truly matters? Many teams, especially in our agile environment or in our organization, focusing on the short-term outputs such as story points. In our interviews also, many a time people are looking forward, what is the last story points? Okay, even in one of the recent interviews of mine, there was a question popped up like, your management is coming and asking you to increase the sprint velocity, what and all the steps you will take? The first question of mine towards the interviewer is, why do you want to increase the velocity? What is something you are trying to achieve here? Please clarify me that thing so that I can be more precise. What is really matters to you? What are you trying to achieve? Is it something velocity should be increased? Yeah, I can do that. I can easily put some story points extra, or I can make some gimmicks over it, and I can show the velocity is being increased. Correct? Do you guys think that it's not possible? We as a Scrum Master, we as an Agile coach can do that easily. We know how to alter those things, correct? But what matters a lot, while these kind of metrics may be useful, I'm not at all going to say that no, this is completely redundant, may be useful, but are these story points or velocity, is this going to uphold ourselves or substantiated evidence to reflect for us in the long term success? That matters a lot, right? So having the story points, having the velocity, how many releases I have done per month. Yes, I'm doing it, but ultimately these features or these items is not being used by the customers. I'm not getting any new customers onboarded. I'm not retaining any existing customers. Then what is the point of measuring these things? Have anyone think through in that perception? So instead of doing these kind of measures, which is a short-term outputs, you guys can shift the focus to strategic outcomes. What really matters? Many organization, of course, everyone are doing business to get the bottom line, right? It may be bitter to hear that, but this is a reality. Bottom line matters a lot, correct? The revenue, the amount, investments, return on investment, that matters a lot. So measuring the impact rather than just activity. For example, the business value or the CSAT or my customers ready to promote myself. So these kind of things are going for the long term sustainability, not for the short term activities to satisfy someone temporarily. Temporarily, my management and will be happy showing the sprint velocity. But what is the point? I can do all the circles to make the sprint velocity increase. I can easily show up the story points. Not only me, everyone can do that, correct? But what is the point of it ultimately? What is the outcome are we trying to achieve increasing the story point or story velocity, sprint velocity, correct? So the true metrics matters is like, what is the ultimate business value, customer value? Those kind of metrics should be measured. Let me tell you why maturity demands a multidimensional view. Before that, I would like to share a small video. Maybe I will stop the screen. Let me open the video, then I will go ahead and show it. I think I wanted to share my complete screen. Entire screen I shared. I hope you can see my screen, right? Again?
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Perfect.
Professor stood in front of it.
Can you guys hear it?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Yeah.
His class holding a large empty jar. He filled it with rocks and asked, one day, a professor stood in front of his class holding a large empty jar. He filled it with rocks and asked, is the jar full? The students nodded. Then he poured in small pebbles, which filled the gaps between the rocks. Is it full now? He asked. The students nodded again. Finally, he poured sand into the jar, filling the tiny spaces. Now it's full? He smiled. The professor explained. The rocks are the big things in life: family, health, dreams. The pebbles are important, but less vital, like work or hobbies. The sand is the small stuff. If you fill your jar with sand first, there won't be room for the rocks. Prioritize wisely. Lesson is, focus on what truly matters before life gets filled with insignificant distractions. One day,
So what is the takeaway? Anyone would like to share any takeaways? Guys, are you with me? Or
Yeah.
slept already?
We need to prioritize our work based on the actual need, based on the need.
Based on the need or based on what matters a lot?
Based on what matters.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
student.
we have
Makes
to
sense.
prioritize based on the value and how that value is uh, connected to the business in terms of whatever you said, right? Like NPS and all those. Yeah.
Correct, exactly. As well as in our personal life also, professional life also. Focus on what really matters. If this thing will give me promotion, yes, I'm going to focus on those things instead of focusing on multiple other steps, which is unnecessary. So that's what ultimately that thing. So why organization needs it? Why organization wanted to focus on these things? Why maturity demands a multidimensional view? Correct. So once the organization matures, single metric like velocity or throughput or story points, it becomes insufficient. Correct. What really matters when we are maturing, slowly progressing, when we are kids, our priorities are, we think small things, but maybe at the start of the business, we think sometimes only the return on investments money. Sometimes we will think customer retention. Okay, if you're starting a new Instagram pages, initially we don't look for revenues, right? Customer retention, how many impressions my profile is getting, how many likes, how many shares. That's how we mature. Slowly only we will convert that as a money, and then again we will try to retain the customers or return on investment, something like that. So when we are maturing, our view should be multi-dimensional. Customer value or users benefiting, business impact, the revenue, the retention, quality in some places, especially in the banking domain and the healthcare domain. These requires lots of regulatory compliances and the risk perspective, correct? Because it needs a transaction. Healthcare data, it should be highly secure because I don't want to reveal any of my health perspective data to others. So quality matters a lot in that kind of perception. And another one view is that predictability. What is the market predictability? How my team is going to look at my market, and then how my team is going to deliver, and then the team health. When we are progressing, it's not only we need to focus on delivery. How your team deliver? At least I believe everything in the world works in the form of energy. If I'm entering into this session with a whole lot of beautiful, amazing energy, the same thing I can transfer to everyone else in this session. But if I'm like entering like, oh my God, similarly, when your team makes a development work with the less energy, the product and its outcomes will have that impact. If you guys are not trusting, just go ahead and explore this. Put yourself in this kind of situation. Go with the less energy and think and see how things are turning around you in the road or wherever it is. And the next day or in after an hour, transform your energy and check how you look the world and how the world behaves towards you. Similarly, I strongly believe in what mood and what energy your team is making a product or working on the product will really impact the product outcome in the market. And the last thing is that innovation and the continuous improvement. Is the team evolving, learning, and improving? These factors.
Yeah, you go ahead. I muted all. You have to again unmute yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So I have unmuted. What are all the pillars of agile success? The primary thing is that flow represents the smooth movement of work through the system with minimal delays, bottlenecks, and looking at waste. So it focuses on efficiency, predictability, and optimizing the delivery pipeline. When I say flow, you may think, why she's prioritizing flow? Why she wanted to say flow? See, when we are looking at the organization business models and other factors, when they are planning, it's not every time they wanted to launch a new product and making revenue out of it. Okay. Most of the cases, even in the case studies of Honda, how they did, Apple, they achieved the revenue what they wanted to achieve at one certain point. Then after that, then they think through what can be done next. We already achieved whatever we targeted for this year. So immediately where they will come, look at the flow, where we can avoid the delays, where we can reduce the bottlenecks. So that's how Apple at one point of time, they think through it and they came up with the ideas like cut down the charges what we are expecting, because in a single container from the production unit to the market, we are exporting some example of in one lorry or one container 100 boxes only. So the box sizes are big, so we can make only 100. If we cut down the size of the box, we can transport some 150. So that way I am reducing the waste. In a single transportation, I can export 50 more products extra. So this is one way how this flow can be managed. Similarly, Honda, in that, what is it so called? The line. Oh my God, what the term? I didn't get it. So instead of enabling the employees to move the assembly line and the product will come to the space where employees are working on it, the things will get fixed and then it move on. That's why the assembly line concepts and those things emerged from Honda. So that's what the flow, where the delays are happening, where the bottlenecks, where the waste. So this helps us to increase our efficiency, predictability, and optimizing the delivery pipeline. The next thing is that the value, ensuring that the work or the items what we have picked is being delivered align with the business objectives, align with the customer needs. Is this something customer looking forward for? So these things should be focused. Delivering number of features and number of user stories. How come this matters a lot? Correct? I'm expecting masala dosa, but you guys are delivering idli, puri, chapati, and whatever it is. But my expectation, my health focus or my list is that to masala dosa. So that's how we wanted to look. What is something customer is looking forward? What is something customer enjoying? What is a value I'm adding? So this is how we wanted to flow. And then the third thing is that quality. High standards in the deliverables. That's where we are bringing the practices of TDD, BDD and all, right? I'm not sure how many organizations are effectively using those things. So ensuring that the product is robust, reliable and sustainable. Even though if some 100 people are logging in at a stretch, it should be scalable. These kind of small things we need to ensure. And mainly quality, trust. We always as a human mind, we are ready to pay some 50, 100 also if the transaction is going to be safe and secure. Correct? If HDFC is having some product, even though if it is high, we will trust them because of the quality. And just example, I'm saying HDFC. Okay. Similarly, sometimes initial days and all, when SBI launched this net banking, I was a bit suspicious. How come this is going to work? But nowadays they are doing amazing. So quality matters a lot. Even though the features are not user friendly, sometimes people look at this, especially in the banking domain and all. In fact, if I wanted to share one example, IOB, Indian Overseas Bank, initially I found using their website or mobile banking was so tough. I told them, see, other private banking, the customer journey, user journey is very simple and can easily navigate things. But again, I found the quality and the security, not only quality, the security, how IOB is ensuring, that was so good. So okay, even though that is not user friendly, we'll go with it because it's a money, it's a transaction, what I'm making. Correct? So this matters a lot more than anything, other things. So INGs, we must have heard about this bank, how they have done the agile transformation. What are all the things they focused? Let me put this case study very simply. ING founded a problem during their initial stages of, we all know, right? It's a popular banking sector, banking domain. Slow digital innovation. Customer were keep on dissatisfied because of their digitalization and other factors. Their ways of working was not that great because that moment they haven't implemented any agile ways of working and all. And then competitors started to have the digital transformations and other factors. So that's where the journey has started in 2013. And in 2014, they have started to identify the challenges. What can be done? So they come up with few approaches. Let's start with the internal assessment. What is something we are doing wrong? And setting up, looking at the other cases and other industries, bringing the benchmark for the agile leaders. And then they started with some pilot, small projects. So that's where into 2015, agile transformation begins with them. They completely restructured their organization and they implemented the new ways of working. In one of my recent assignments, not recent assignments, in my previous company also, there was a bank in the Southeast Asia where I was deployed over there. I was working with the complete assignments were new ways of working. We call that as wow. So they have completely transformed themselves into the digital era. And then they started to have the tracking new metrics. New metrics, what I mean here is that it's again nothing to do with the story points or other stuffs. How many features you have delivered? Why should it's going to be matter for me if you're not delivering what is really matter to me? You deliver 100 other things because customers ultimately going to look at the outcomes what they want. They're not going to look at how much effort you have placed this, how much you have gone through in your life to make this one. I don't bother about those things as a customer, correct? So that's where they shifted their focus towards the new metrics which they really feel that that matters a lot for us. And 2016, scaling agile beyond IT. So they have started expanding agile ways of working and really looking forward, which matters a lot. So the cultural shift had happened. And 2017, measuring success and optimization. So drastic cycle time reduction. That matters a lot, right? If I'm asking one thing, the same masala dosa concept, early days they were taking some 15 minutes. Nowadays, if they are delivering it within 5 minutes, that matters a lot to me. And higher customer satisfaction, correct? And industry benchmark. In banking domain, as I always say, as I always said, there is a standardization and the regulation, GRC, governance, risk, and the compliance perspective should met. That should be standardized. So then only they can clear the audits and other stuff. So this is how ING transform their agile transformations. So moving to the next one, vanity metrics versus value metrics. What is vanity metrics? Okay. So vanity metrics are surface level measurements that may seems to be very impressive at the initial stages. Oh wow, this seems to be amazing, correct? It may be, if I wanted to say in a very funny or the layman example, before our marriage, after our engagement, that period seems to be very impressive and we will be like in a different world, correct? But once after the marriage gets started, once we got into the life of the marriage, initial years will be a little bit tough. The understanding between the partners will be tough. But once we matured, our understanding level will be different and our value and the way we see things and the maturity what we have and where we are really focused differs a lot. That's where we are started to generating the value together as a partners. I don't know how many of you can agree or rely or resonates with this example. So vanity metrics are something like that. Initial stages, it may appear very impressive, but when you lack, but when you get mature, when you get the deeper insights about the actual business, about the actual life, the perception will see it will be different altogether. So this vanity metrics will create a false sense of progress. And the raw measure may be figuring out story points, tracking how many story points a team completes per sprint. These kind are all few raw measures or number of deployments. What is the issue? Encourage your team members to focus on activity over impact. That's what we will do. If you are focusing on the vanity metrics, we will ask them to do this, that. But what's again? What is the impact? And then in this stage, we think more is better. That's how we think, right? Where team push works without validating the business value. We don't have the bigger picture of context. We are lagging with the context. That's how it works, correct? So what is value matrix? So it focuses on outcomes that matter. How well your work contributes to business, goals, efficiency, how much customer satisfied with your work. So this metrics will ensure the continuous improvement and value driven data decision making, correct? So decision making is the Sundar Pichai is also from India and many other top-notch CEOs all from India. Are we matching their pay and our pay? No. They are easily getting our per year pay in one day. Correct? It's all about the decision making. Decision makers are getting more pay. Correct? So when we want to enhance ourselves, we need to make a decision based on our value. based on the organization value. So decision makers are the one who getting paid more in the organization, correct? So valuable measures, how you can measure it? Your cycle time, defect rate. How come you're reducing your defect? Because defects are all negative velocity. That's how we measure it, right? So defect rate, how much customer satisfied? Are they ready to promote my value to others so that I can get more business, to get more bottom line? Correct return on investments and the lead time. So this one encourage alignment between effort and business value. Prioritize the customer impact more than how many work items you deliver. Efficiency and sustainability. So this helps us to take a data-driven decision making based on the values. So what's the pros and cons? Again, I have listed down few of the metrics which you can think in a different view. Cycle time ensures fast and efficient delivery. Defect rate, customer satisfaction, return on investments. But velocity, story points completed, but doesn't matter or doesn't, are we measuring really value delivered or not, correct? And then the next thing is the number of deployments. Yes, I'm deploying it per day, I'm deploying 200 times. Okay, so what? So what, correct? The number of active users. You may have 100 users downloaded this app, but are they really engaging with that one? Correct? And number of lines of code written. Okay. As I said, customers only focus on what is the outcome. They don't want to think about how much time you have invested to make this product, how much you have gone through in this journey, how many days you didn't sleep, how many hours you didn't eat. Doesn't matter for me. Why should I want to bother? So true agility is measured not by the speed of delivery alone, but by the continuous alignment of outcome with strategic business value. Okay. So this is again another one case study, maybe on cautious of time. Let me quickly finish it off. Algas Telecom, you may have heard about it or may not, I'm not sure. So they also initially faced the inconsistent service delivery to the customers, and they have taken more time to work on the customer service tickets. And if anyone is working with the infrastructure team, service request on how this ITSM 4.ITSM or ITIL, these kind of things, then you may understand or you can connect or resonate with this case study. So customers are experiencing the long waiting period, and teams were struggling how to handle the request. So this not only increase the operational cost, but also customers feel bad, right? If you are calling any customer center of Airtel or some other network, if they are keeping you to wait for a long time, you obviously feel disappointed. What the hell are you guys doing? Correct? So identify the problem. What they have done, they identify the problem. To understand the delays, organizations turn to business maps, real-time dashboards. That really matters nowadays. In fact, I joined as in a company newly now. The leader who I'm working with him, he asked down the line in Q3, everything I wanted to have it in a real time. Everything is a dashboard. I don't want to look at anywhere else. I don't want to prepare any PowerPoint presentation. Everything should be in the dashboard. Anytime my CEO wanted to look at it. So that's his expectation, what he set on me. So I'm working towards it, making everything as an on-time, real-time things. So that way you can look at the cycle time, lead time, or whatever it is. So that's what they were looking forward for it. They have done the root cause analysis, high work in progress levels, and those things, why things are getting delayed. Okay. So they implemented the lean principles to eliminate waste and reduced delays. Six Sigma, we all know, right? Six Sigma and lean practices, those things focus on reducing the delays and other stuff and improve the constant deliverables, correct? Continuous deliverable. So they implemented the solution of streamlining the process, monitoring things continuously, work in progress, limit adjustments. So the outcome was dramatic for them at that point of time. Okay. So overall delivery time improved 15 to 20% approximately. They reduced the cycle time. The time spent in the review stage was dropped, and then customer were satisfied. Optimization had happened. So by doing this, the organization was able to adjust work in progress limits and streamline process. Obviously, at the end, customer satisfied can get more customers. So that's what they achieved in this journey. So what really matters? Did they measure your velocity or story point or anything else? No, their thought process was different, and they really focused and looked at different perspective. So the heart of agile impact may be defect density and post release bugs. So you're buying some product, maybe a cooker, if I wanted to say. Once you started using this, after 10 days itself, the handle of the cooker is not working. How you feel? Think. I'm just saying a simple example. Think about in a bigger perception. You're buying a luxury car. So the quality matters a lot. That too, once you deliver it to the customer, whatever the warranty, whatever the timeline you're giving, till then it should go. At least till then. After that also it should go. So that matters a lot for a customer, each and every customer. As a small, simple person, for us itself, we are expecting many things, correct? So that determines the product quality. Test coverage, the robustness, how much it is. Even though some 10 people are attested logging into the system, 100 people are logging into the Amazon website on the big day, it should be in the position to have the stress, handle the stress and handle the performance, every other factors. Value metrics, what value a lot, business value score, cross-functional collaboration index, and customer satisfaction. And then advanced analytics. As I said, everything should be a data driven on a real-time basis, real-time data driven. That should derive your OKRs and the KPIs. That should align in a long term. Okay. Influencing leadership through evidence-based reporting. See, as an individual, as a leader, assume something, I'm coming and I'm selling some product. Okay, I'm coming and saying that see, I'm a great agile coach, or I'm a great salesperson. I have sold this product. If this product is going to do this one, that one, XYZ, who am I to you guys? Why should you wanted to believe me? Correct? No point of believing me. So always, whenever you are approaching your leader, go with the data point. If you're not going with the data points, if you're not going with a record of it, you are another one person just with an opinion. Who wants your opinion? I don't want it, correct? So that's where you are differing from others. Opinion is not at all going to add any value, is not at all going to make any sense unless you are going with some data points. Why should I wanted to trust you? Your CEO simply turn back and say, why should I want to trust you? Who are you to me? You are one another in among this 10,000, among this 1 lakh. So go with the data points that matters a lot. So how do you influence your leaders? Strategic communication. The first step should be strategically communicate with them. What matters? How come you're going to solve this problem? Or how come, what and all your approaches? Get the leadership alignment. Whether you are working with the leaders, go with the data point. Once you get the buy-in from the leaders, then come and implement with the team. Okay, so get the leadership alignment. If your own team itself is not agreeing, this is another one lesson which I learned from my previous leader in another one organization. So when you're proposing something, some new innovative ideas or some approaches, get the buy-in from the leadership team. Otherwise, your own team members itself won't provide the support to you. Okay, and then create a framework for continuous learning. Make that as a sustainable practices. It shouldn't be over ambitious, or otherwise it shouldn't exhaust or burn your team. The practice should be very sustainable. Whatever the process you are implementing, it should be sustainable. And transform your metrics into a decisions. Okay, your data point should enable your reader to make a decision. If that metrics is not making him to or her to make a decision, whatever the effort you spend, it's zero. So as I said, in my previous organization, I was fond of a lady, my leader. She always say, whenever you are putting up some metrics in the job, think what is the outcome I'm going to get this metric and how it is going to be useful. What I'm trying to achieve with this metrics. Otherwise, what is the point you are making this many hundreds of dashboards? What kind of decision am I going to take from this one? This is the only point she said. What kind of decision or the leaders or I'm going to take by looking at this? Looking at this metrics or looking at this dashboard in simple term. By seeing this dashboard, what decision they are going to take. Okay. So this is how she educated me. After that, whenever I'm setting up some dashboard, what decision I can take from this dashboard. Just showing the number of story points burn. What decision I am going to take? Next sprints, I will reduce the story points, or I will increase the story points. But what next? Increasing or reducing? How come it matters? That's a question. Correct? So with this, I would like to stop. Yes, guys, I'm looking forward to hear from you all.
So it's a wonderful presentation. I would request our participants if they can go with their videos on, so it will really encourage and honor our speaker. So please, all are welcome to put their questions ahead or discuss whatever. Yeah, share your points. Thank you.
What, no questions so far? Nothing. At least you can appreciate me, right? By itself, at least you can unmute yourself, correct? I'm just
No,
looking
but
forward.
there are means till the time people, I would say, gather the courage to speak their mind. Okay, I would say ki, yes, there are many things which I took as my note point, and yeah, there are like when you say metrics matter, yeah, means I love that simple sentence that whatever you measure, that thing only, or whatever you track, that
Correct.
is the only thing which comes in action first. If I'm not tracking, no, it won't come in action. So it's as simple as that. So that's why, yeah.
Yeah, that's why if you closely observe the sports person and all, always they
Yeah.
track every measures. Coaches will
Yeah.
track their each and every
Yeah.
perspective, what is going to lead them to the success. They are
Yeah.
tracking athletes and those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, but like you said, when coaches, so I do that. So I felt this is a perfect point. People, because people don't like journaling, people don't like taking notes. People don't like, okay, no, I'll do. Means if you ask anybody to track whatever they want to achieve, or whatever they decide, so people say, okay, I know, it's in my, means it's like in my hat or in my head. And but yes, means there is a value to track it down, write it down, and then follow it. So yes, I would say ki, and another point what you made, I really took note of that uh, uh, value metrics versus vanity metrics. Vanity, right? I'm making that word correct. Yeah. So
Yes.
that particular concept I really took note for myself, and yes, I loved it. I loved the learning process. If anybody wants to go ahead, please. I'm muting myself.
Yeah, this is Madhu here. I really appreciate your explanation and step by step you went through. And the main focus will be on the value generation. And in the last few minutes, you explained about what will you do with these metrics. So even I'm also having that question, even though I'm also preparing the metrics. Nobody asked me what will I do with this metrics. If you can explain me what will the senior leadership will do with these metrics.
Okay. Maybe an example. Okay. We are all putting up the OKRs and KPIs. Every organization have it. So ultimately, at the end, your metrics directly or indirectly should align with their expectation. So for that, organization should have the clear vision. First, that starts from there. Then only it comes as a team. Every organization vision and the mission will get vary. Okay. The recent company where I'm working now, they're making many products. But are they really making any revenue out of it? No. But they're investing a lot. Investing a lot. We can't even imagine how much they are investing over there. So, what is something they are trying to do here? Aligning with them and then making the metrics is going to make sense. It's being, I think, this organization has started some 10 to 15 years before. For the last 10 to 15 years, there is only one product, 2 to 3 products are there, many products are there, but none of the products are great revenue making product. Recently, they launched some 2 years back one product that's being actively used. Now other products are slowly pitching into the market and leveraging it to different countries. So whenever you are making some dashboards, if you are a part of the organization, just a one team, I mean, you have AI team, you have a development team, you have infrastructure team, many other teams. Okay, I'm actually working with many infra teams more than the development team. So as an infra team, what and all metrics is going to help my organization? Maybe as an infrastructure team, we are focusing on cutting down the costs of the cloud resources so that we can use thus that budget to other factors, getting another one cloud resource and another one perception, as I said, on the quality perception. Once a system is server is down, we need to be on top of it. So or my team is active on the alert system is being set. So how many alerts per month I'm getting, how quickly the incidence is being addressed. So these kind of metrics are enabling my team to focus on what matters a lot. So if they're the quicker they are turning around for the production servers, production system, my customers will be satisfied and happy. Correct? This is another one example. In other terms, performance, scalability. Cloud resources should be scalable. So those ways we are focusing on every year. So last year they had something. This year we are focusing on this kind of other factors like how we can optimize the cloud resource, bringing many different new tools to ensure the system should be up and running for live for 24 bar 7. So the moment when 24 bar 7 alive support we are giving alive, the system is automating everything and making the system alive, customers will be happy. So these are all our vision, which is aligning with the organization's goal. So this is how you wanted to. So the metrics, what I will set, or the system is up and live, how it's being tracked, how many time the system gone down for the last 1 month, why it is going. I can look at the optimization, why it is going down, if there is any tools needed to ensure this one, or any technology needed to ensure this one, any expertise skills needed to ensure this one, bring them, make this alive, so that I can get revenue as well as I can get pay, as well as I can ensure the customers are good, customers are happy with my product. So every team varies with their expectation. So look at the team's expectation, not team, organization's expectation, and what is the business value you are going to add. Based on that, set your metrics. It's not going to be a single silver bullet for every problem. The bullets are going to be different.
Thank you.
Madhu? Yeah. Any questions? Anything else?
Think somebody put a question in the chat about the tool.
What is that question?
Yeah, let me explain that. See, you have showed us the metrics, right? A few of the metrics, vanity, value. See, just want to understand the tool you used. So that will be quite interesting because creating a dashboard itself requires some effort to be put across, right? So that's the reason I raised that question.
Okay, what is the question again, Srini?
What tool has been used and how
Can
it
you
has
please
been?
explain the ALM tool you use to capture metrics dash slash dashboard? That's the question.
Again, tools according to your organization, you will use the tools, correct? Some are still using the Excel sheet. I was part of one of the big oil and refinery team. It was a big milestone project. That organization, most of the things they captured, they made the dashboards and the diagrams in the Excel sheet itself using beautiful macros. They hired a macro expert and then they have done it. And another one organization, we were actively using Azure DevOps, but Azure DevOps also, again, what are all the real metrics, we couldn't set it up because it has its own limitations and other things. Then we moved to Power BI. So in terms of a tool for monitoring and everything, in fact, to make the cloud resource optimization or how many data we are having, tools will be different. Those tools you can pull it to one place. That's where we are doing it in Jira or Agile. And most of the time, I'm sensing those tools are also not sufficient enough to do the calculations, and their features are not supporting to derive the business value. So in that case, bringing some patching up, making some add-ons, or integrating with some one or two tools only, it's going to help. The similar thing we have done when we were working in the Azure DevOps, few kind of calculations we couldn't make at all, but that calculation is going to help our business. So what we have done in that project is that we brought in Power BI and we have integrated the Power BI with Azure DevOps, and we collected the data from Azure, imported the data, and Power BI, we have set it up the calculations and we delivered it to the customers. So that from that, they took the decision easily. Just with the user stories and the other things, what I have maintained in the Jira board or Azure board, that couldn't help us a lot with that features, Azure DevOps features. So integrating one or tool according to your business need and whatever the budget your business allocating matters a lot. Here in the current organization, they are using Databricks, but still again, they're now, as I said, I'm recently joined and they are complaining that Databricks is not working well. And for the last 2 years, we are struggling with this one. So they are looking for some other different tools for different purpose and different usage. Okay, so this
So
comes with
basically, the visualization matters a lot, right? In any kind of like it might be Power BI, it might be Tableau. So there are so many tools, right? But what matters most is how that value basically get inserted into that, right? So that really matters to take the decision basically. Otherwise, just because visualization we can do it in many tools. There are
correct,
not only
exactly.
Power BI, not only Tableau. I did that through Jira integration in Power BI.
Mm,
But what matters is that basically, but tools are many in the market, and now as AI is in boom, so that also brings up more, right? So yeah.
correct. So what matters a lot more than the tools, I believe,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though it is
Some
as I
still,
said,
yeah, some still do it in Excel because they
correct.
want to go in
That's a
that legacy system. Yeah, but how we represent it and take the decision, that really matters actually, because tools can be. I can say tools are just for better transparency purpose, because we can see from where the source is coming and where the target is and all those, right? So that will not miss, because let's say someone is using Excel, that also can be true, but some things I feel like will be hidden, like someone suddenly will ask how you gather this data from, where it is coming from, right? So it matters like how they really linked it and how they do it actually. So there are
credible.
so many, yeah, how they do it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. See, it doesn't matter which tool can be used, but it matters more on how it is really helpful for the leadership to make a decision that matters. I agree.
Thank you, Srinivas. Thank you, Ajit. Anything else, guys? No questions. Everyone was so
Yeah, so if there are no questions more, if anywhere means if anyone wants to add or share, otherwise we will close the session, because then we have come to the end of the session.
I'm seeing some no people here.
I have one small question. What is your opinion on scaled agile framework? Will it help in the OKR KPIs, right? You were telling also, right? Do you think that is sufficient or like?
What do you mean by sufficient?
I mean, for your subject, right? You were telling like values, right? So
Hmm.
they also have that similar approach, right? Scaled agile.
Yes.
So which is the best to implement your philosophy? Like which among the frameworks could help? Or
Yeah,
from
ideally scaled agile framework, it's a comprised of lean development, correct? So again, they are also insisting the same. Lean again comes with the flow metrics. Flow metrics like cycle time, lead time, those things are all comprises of the flow metrics. So even if you take safe, the safe how it is designed completely on 3 factors. One of the main factors is lean practices. So that's how it's being designed itself. So obviously, these measures, when it comes to 120 people, is going to help a lot in that perception also. For scaled agile, whatever it is, safe or nexus, less, whatever it
But
is.
I feel scaled agile, like, see, scaled agile is another framework like Scrum framework, right? But there are, I don't know how the organization uses, and they really uses 100%. That still I am unaware of, and I don't know which company uses 100%. I too don't know like which company uses 100%.
Company.
But yeah, but as it is a heavyweight framework, not like a lightweight framework like Scrum, right? But there are so many confusing factors. There are like things are many. It can be like scaled up and all, but still people struggle a lot in really utilizing it in 100%, right? So that really matters. I feel I don't know because I never worked on scaled agile, but yeah,
You're right. Yeah, the scaled agile concepts, like they insist us on system thinking, holistic picture. Look at the holistic
yeah,
picture.
yeah, yeah,
And as you said, I completely agree with the point. None of the organization, and they can't implement as well. You can't say
correct,
that 100% you are
correct,
implementing proper agile or
yeah,
proper scrum or proper safe. No, we can't do that. You
yeah,
need to optimize it. You need to design the frameworks according to your need. I meaning
mm,
tweak it
tweak it, yeah, yes,
according to your need.
yeah,
That's going to work. The problem
mm,
may be the same for you, for me,
mm,
but solutions and approaches, we can tweak it. It
tweak it, yes,
cannot be the same way how you are implementing it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
None of the companies, none of the organization, as far as almost I think 6 to 7 companies I worked so far, different projects inside the companies.
yeah,
With my small knowledge, I can say that it's we can't implement anything 100 percentage according to our need. We need to change it. Depends
mm,
on the team, depends on the organization, depends on other things. And it's always good to think on the system thinking perception, the complete
yeah,
holistic picture. Many
yeah,
of
yeah,
the organizations, we are missing the paths in between.
yeah, yeah,
In fact, in few of my team members, they doesn't even know where it starts and how we are doing. Only I
yeah,
know my part.
mm,
I develop
mm,
this, I will move on. Where
yeah,
it goes next, where it reaches the customer, how it end up.
mm,
Those
yes,
things they don't know. And especially in the one of the examples, if I wanted to share my recent experience with one of the healthcare domain industries. So if there is any report generation comes in for the customer health record or health data, as a medical team, I will just request, I will just give the ID alone. That's it. After that, I don't know. When it comes to an engineering team, as an engineer for me, I will just take the data and then I will put it. I really don't care whether the data is right or whether I don't care about other stuffs. When it comes to the infrastructure team, the same thing. I'm copying and pasting and putting it in the production environment. That's it. They really don't
yeah,
know what is the data is going to add, where are we delivering, who's the customer, how we can optimize the process, how we can look at the flow, how we can effectively manage it. They don't know where the things are coming in, how it is making the business revenue. Nothing. So the
yeah,
system thinking perception is completely missing. That's where we are losing many of the concepts. That's where the conflicts are also started between the portfolios, between the projects.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
That's it.
that they have given more focus on design thinking, lean practices, basically in scale. Yeah, that is very good. Yeah,
Correct. So yeah, that's where the Safe 6.0 also, the UI UX designs and those things is being emphasized a lot.
yeah, yeah.
So we can call it a day, Sindhuja,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so thanks Ajit for your active participation, and thanks everyone, all the participants who joined and made this very, I would say, successful and encouraging discussion, right? So thanks Sindhuja from the team Happy Hours of Coaching, and I would say in future we shall have many more sessions, right? Like this discussions or some learnings together. So thanks once again, and I would formally close today's session, right?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
You.
Thank you all. Thank you.